Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my new video. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about all the big news items for the last day or so. We'll start with talking about Japan, then we'll obviously talk about Iran and a few other subjects. But first of all, before I come to Japan, um, I'll start with Netanyahu. Before I start talking, guys, I got a favor to ask. YouTube has been banning a lot of content lately and a lot of YouTube channels. Today they banned Kalza. I don't know if you guys follow Kalza. And yesterday they banned Ricky Sanchez. And they banned a lot of other channels as well. Ones that speak the truth about what's happening in the world, Iran, Israel, China, Russia. So they seem to be banning a lot of these channels, and I could be next. They have been banning my channels for the past few years, but I managed to get myself back. But in case they ban this channel, I want to have a backup channel available. So I've opened a brand new channel, by the way, and I'll send you the link. And I'll really appreciate if you guys maybe watch some old videos on that one and bring up the watch hours. I want to bring the watch hours to about 3,000 hours, then I can start monetizing it. So I want to basically have that channel completely fresh. My other Wolf Warrior channel, it's got 2 strikes already, and even though it's not monetized, maybe it's not a good idea to work on that one because it's much better to open a brand new one with no strikes. So so I'll send you guys the link and in the description, and I'll really appreciate if guys can start watching like some old videos for that from that channel. I'll also upload some of these videos onto that channel as well, so you guys can watch it. Without further ado, let's carry on with the show. So Netanyahu has been releasing a lot of videos lately, and each AI video or deep fake video seems to be better than the last. And he released one today. Seems to be very good, seems to be very close to reality. It's possible he's still alive, guys. I'm not going to completely dismiss that he's dead, by the way. He's alive. But if he's alive, it's much, much worse because this means he's been hiding like a coward. He's been hiding in the tunnels like a coward. He's been sending out AI videos of himself. I mean, what kind of leader does something like that? The Iranian leader did not even hide. He basically Ali Khamenei. He was in his house and he was inviting the Israelis and Trump to basically make him into a martyr. That's what they did. He wasn't scared. Same with all these other Muslim leaders as well, like Nasrullah and that guy from Hamas. Can't remember his name now, but the leader there. He was basically he wasn't even eating for like 3 4 days, and he was still fighting. And these are the leaders who basically have no fear, and they lead by example. But Netanyahu seems to be hiding in tunnels, sending out AR videos of himself. It's very cowardly, I should say. But it really doesn't matter whether he's alive or dead anyway, to be honest. It's not going to change anything. Whether he's there as a leader or somebody else as a leader, they will still follow the same policy. So I'm not worried, to be honest, either way. So let's talk about the main topic for today. Um, this young lady, the biggest puppet of the Japanese government in history of Japan. So I don't know if you guys have been following this story, but this is this is really funny. Yeah, I don't know, guys, if you've been following this story, but Trump basically was having a press conference with her, and a reporter asked Trump, did you tell your allies about your attack on Iran? And then Trump says, it's a surprise. And then he started throwing it back to Japan. He said, did you guys warn anyone when you attacked Pearl Harbor? So basically, he's bringing up old wounds, absolutely humiliating. And you can see her face. You can see her face. She doesn't know what to do. And this woman is so cringeworthy, right? She takes these pictures. She gets humiliated, and she just takes these pictures of her thumbs up, basically after total humiliation. And then she says some cringy stuff. She says, you know, President Trump, you are the leader of peace. You will bring peace to the world. That's what she says. And then she starts talking about his son. She says, oh, I've organized a birthday party for your son. And absolutely cringe, guys. Cringe. There is Trump basically insulting her and Japan. And she's there basically trying to kiss his ass, basically. And it was just utter humiliating. And I don't know how Japanese see this, but I'm sure a lot of Japanese looking at this from Japan would be absolutely humiliated as well. The fact that Trump brings up Pearl Harbor, even Japanese, you know, they don't even bring up Pearl Harbor or the nuclear stuff that's happened. They don't even say who bombed them. If you see the conferences, they talk about, you know, they don't even blame United States for bombing them. Especially they don't mention Hiroshima, they don't mention Nagasaki. It's completely wiped out from their history. And then Trump brings it up. You know, it's just so humiliating, guys. Absolutely humiliating. I mean, Japan used to be a proud sovereign nation once upon a time, and they've been reduced to this. Absolutely humiliating. Somebody mentioned in the comments that they should bring back. I can't say the word, guys, otherwise, you know, YouTube, it will probably ban me or demonetize me or whatever's worse. But you know the word I'm talking about. It begins with S for sugar. But it's something that the Japanese leaders do when they get absolutely humiliated and they have no choice but to do it. That used to be the samurai tradition. So somebody said that they should bring back that tradition because she has been humiliated to such an extent that when she goes back to Japan, there will be a lot of people, let's just say, asking for it. But yeah, it's just utterly humiliating. My good friend Angelo, I used to do a lot of live streams with him. I might invite him again soon, to be honest. But he sent out a tweet which actually sums up the Japanese. He says, Japan is a country with the one party system since World War II. A country which has a constitution written by the US. Country which has foreign forces, mainly United States, 50,000 troops at the moment. A party that was funded by the CIA. Country forced to destroy its economy in 1985 by the humiliating Plaza Accord. A country once proud and sovereign is now humiliated on a daily basis. A country being prepared to fight a war with China to the last Japanese. Absolutely true, guys. Absolutely true. I mean, Japan, the society has been completely destroyed. Completely destroyed. You know, Japanese are made to work extremely hard. They have, they don't have, you know, much babies in Japan. The marriage rates are very low. That's only because, you know, PORN is very highly used in Japan. A lot of single guys end up just looking at PORN rather than going out and finding a relationship. And also, people just don't have time in Japan. Everyone's just working so hard. And but what are they working hard for? If your country is not sovereign, if you're a bunch of slaves, what are you working hard for? It seems like everyone in Japan is working hard for Trump, for the United States. That's what it looks like. Do the Japanese realize this? Because they are an occupied country. They're absolutely humiliated. All the money that Japan makes, they buy US treasuries with it. It goes to United States. Japan is the largest holder of treasuries in the world, almost double what China holds. You know, all the money Japan makes pretty much goes to United States. So all these Japanese working hard, working two, three jobs, it doesn't go to Japan, doesn't go for their own sovereignty, it goes directly to the United States. Japan doesn't even have its own military. It's mainly controlled by the United States. And Japan pays, their military budget, a small amount goes to Japan's forces, but a big amount goes to United States. They buy all these useless United States gear. They also pay for 50,000 troops to be in Japanese soil. America doesn't pay for it. Japan pays for it, or most of it. I think they pay 80-90% of it. And most of it goes there, and most of it goes to these useless, you know, bureaucracy, and goes to the United States. Just filling up pockets of of all the MIC companies, military industrial complex companies like Lockheed Martin and all these other, you know, companies. So all the money Japan makes, it basically goes straight to United States, guys. Hardly any goes to Japan itself. Yeah, Japan is modern and stuff, but Japan is under huge debt. It's the highest debted country in the world. Debt to GDP is the highest compared to any country in the world. That's not a way to live, guys. Absolutely not a way to live. And they've been absolutely humiliated on a daily basis. And this is what happens when you are not sovereign. There's only few countries that are sovereign in this world. One is China, one is Russia, one is Iran, one is Yemen, and I just can't think of any other sovereign countries in the world, guys. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe I could say Palestine, Gaza, maybe, and that's pretty much it. North Korea, yeah, North Korea, that's it. So I think every country in this world should try and fight to be sovereign. Yeah, you might be, you know, it might hurt you in the short term, right? You might have to fight a few wars with the imperial United States, Israel, and all these countries will come for you. But if you win, it's worth it. I mean, look what Iran is doing right now. They're literally fighting the might of the empire of the United States and Israel. They're fighting for their lives. They're fighting for sovereignty. They don't want military bases all over Iran. They don't want to give up all of their natural resources to American companies. They don't want to be subjugated to humiliation. Yeah, they are being bombed, they are being killed, but it's a small price to pay for freedom, guys. And this is the kind of freedom that China fought for. They fought the United States at its peak in the Korean War, and that time China had no weapons. They were literally fighting with small arms, with guns, with sticks. The army wasn't even, from what I read, the Korean War, the army wasn't even, they didn't even have a uniform. They didn't have shoes. They didn't have uniforms to keep themselves warm because when they fought the Korean War, it was real winter at the time, and a lot of Chinese were actually froze to death because they didn't have warm winter gear to keep them warm. They didn't have shoes. They didn't even have food to eat, and they were fighting, and they had guns, but not everybody had guns, and not everyone had bullets. They were literally fighting with a minimum amount of weapons against the mighty empire of America at the time, who were at their peak. They had an air force, they had all the technological weapons, but still China gave them a real good fight. Yeah, I think every country needs to go through. something like this, just for your pride, guys, just for your pride. If you have no sovereignty, this is the kind of life you will live. Just utter humiliation from the West on a day-to-day basis. It is just worth fighting for, guys. It is definitely worth fighting for, just for freedom, just for pride. Not like this, guys. It's a shame, absolute shame. So the next story is an F-35 got shot down over Iran, and this has been confirmed by CENTCOM from the United States. So they had confirmation that an F-35 got shot down, and he had to make an emergency landing. So whenever CENTCOM send a message like that out, usually means that the plane crashed, because the Iranians sent a video showing that the F-35 got shot down, and I think they are looking for the wreckage. I think it's either in Iran or it's fallen into the sea. Either way, it's got shot down, and the Americans cannot find it, because when you shoot down a plane and it has to make an emergency landing, where is it going to land? You have to land straight away. You cannot, after being shot, you cannot really fly around with it, go back home. You have to make an emergency landing, or the plane crashes. So it's either crash somewhere in Iran they're looking for. And Iran is a very mountainous country as well. It's very hard to, if it has crashed in some mountain or something, it's going to be very, very difficult to find. So I bet they are looking. So the question is, how did they shoot it down? Because Iran is the first country in history to shoot down an F-35, by the way. No other country has done that. So F-35 is not as stealth as people think. Only reason F-35 has been doing so well in the past few years for United States is because United States usually fights against weaker opponents like Iraq, who didn't even have any anti-aircraft guns to take out F-35s, or Libya, or they usually fight these weak countries who cannot fight back, who don't have the necessary technologically advanced anti-air systems. Iran has obviously got some anti-aircraft systems, but they have also got a lot of radars, because your anti-aircraft guns are no use if you don't know where the F-35 is. If you cannot pinpoint it, you cannot shoot it down. So Iran has invested a lot in Chinese radar technology, and I saw this tweet, and he is 100% right. So this is the stuff that Iran has bought from China. So the first thing they bought was the YLC 8B radar. It has a 700-kilometer range, and it's designed to track the F-35 and B-2 stealth aircraft. And it's a massive radar, guys. And obviously, the Americans and the Israelis have not found this radar, otherwise they would have, destroyed it. So that radar still exists, and it's in Iran somewhere. Iran also has the JY-27A radar, and it's the backup anti-stealth radar system. And Iran also has the Beidou 3 satellite navigation, which has replaced the US GPS. A lot of people know that already. He also has 500 Chinese satellites, live SIGINT feed, terrain mapping, US naval movement tracking in real time. There's also some private Chinese companies who are giving away positions of the United States on a daily basis. They're not even giving it to Iran, they're just posting it online. So it's available for everyone to see. So private Chinese companies are already doing that. Then you have the Lao Wang 1 spy ship, which is 30,000 tons, 600 kilometers sensor range, parked near the Strait of Hormuz, doing lots of intelligence gathering. And it's also looking for American subs as well. So it's doing a lot. And all this intelligence that actually China and Iran and even Russia is picking up. It's going to be invaluable one day. So if China or Russia have a direct war with the United States, all this information that China's picking up, Russia's picking up, is going to be very, very valuable for China, for Russia, because all of this data, how the United States fights Iran, troop movements, all the intelligence, how the F-35 flies, what radar signatures it gives away, how long it takes to refuel, where they are based, what hangars they're hiding in, all of this stuff. They're getting lots of valuable information, and it's going to be very, very good for China or Russia in the near future. And there's also C-Tech AI cybersecurity systems replacing all Western tech in Iran, electronic warfare architecture for. So there's a lot of Chinese gear that Iran has bought from China. But one thing they have not bought is the latest Chinese anti-aircraft system. I initially thought that they actually bought them, but looks like they have not. It looks like the Iranians are still using the S300, and even though it's S300, they're using the latest version, and even they might even have the S400, maybe one or two S400 basically systems that Russia provided to them recently. So it could be that as well. But even if they don't have the Chinese anti-aircraft systems, these radars are more than enough. As long as you can pinpoint where they are, you have a fighting chance of trying to shoot them down. But these F-35s, they do not come with any defense, by the way. They do not come with any defense like flares and all these other, anti, you know, these anti-missile systems. They don't have it because they rely on stealth, and they rely on complete stealth. So they don't need these flares and all these anti-aircraft guns. They don't need it because they can just fly in, drop the bombs, and fly out. That's their sole purpose. So if they are spotted, they are defenseless. They can be easily shot down. At least with F-16s or F-18s, you have a fighting chance. If there's a missile coming towards you, you can drop flares, you can do some combat maneuvers, or you can there's other anti-missile systems that F-16 and F-18 has that can evade those missiles, but F-35 does not. If you can find out where the F-35 is, you can pretty much shoot it down easily. So yeah, I just wanted to say that really. I think it's a great job Iran has done being the first country to shoot it down, and also they are giving away a lot of intelligence as well. And if they can find this F-35, maybe somewhere in Iran, then that would be an even amazing job for Iran. That would mean that they can reverse engineer the F-35. And you can see if that happens, then you will see Iran having their own, um, aircraft industry, and they'll have their own jets out in no time, like they've done with the drones and other missile systems that they are developing. So yeah, it's really, really good news, guys. So let's talk about the next story. We spoke about her. So this is another big story happened yesterday. So basically, Israel attacked the Southern Pars gas field, which is owned by Iran and Qatar. So it's a big gas field. So the southern part is owned by Qatar, and the northern part is owned by Iran. So Israel came and absolutely bombed the hell out of the gas field, and Iran got really angry about it, and they started retaliating. They started attacking the Qatar refineries and gas fields, UAE's, Saudi Arabia's. They basically started firing at every single Middle Eastern country, even Kuwait as well. And the oil prices went absolutely crazy, went up to 110 or 120, I believe, then kind of went back down again to 95, 94. And Trump was extremely angry about this, so he sent out this really angry tweet. So this is the tweet. So he said that Israel, out of anger, they decided to bomb Iranian gas fields, and Iran, out of revenge, they started attacking all the other Middle Eastern gas fields and oil fields. So Trump has said that it was totally Israel's fault. Um, they didn't tell him. But Israel then came out with a statement saying we already told Trump, we had approval from Trump, he knew about it. So who's lying? Is it Israel's lying or Donald Trump is lying? Maybe they're both lying. Who knows? But the fact is, they both are responsible for you know firing at these gas electricity, because once you start attacking people's energy infrastructure, things escalate in the region. Iran fights back, hitting other oil facilities. Oil prices goes up, and nobody wins if oil prices goes up. The whole world's economy will be destroyed. If oil at the moment is around 100, if it goes up to 150, 200, you will start seeing a major collapse in the world economy, including the United States, by the way. The United States is not going to get out of this that easily. And you know, and everyone will suffer. And it's all going to be because of Trump and because of Israel. So you have Trump here blaming Israel and Israel blaming Trump. I thought they were in it together. When you're in a war together, you should be coordinating things together, working together, not having arguments over Twitter who started it. This is so unprofessional, guys. Absolutely unprofessional. And Israel is like the caged animal you take to battle with you. If you cannot control your caged animal, then you shouldn't really take it to battle, because you don't know what your caged animal is going to do. So it seems like Trump has lost total control over this war. He's allowing Israel to dictate terms. He's allowing Israel to do whatever he wants. He's got no control over Israel. Israel will bomb whoever they want, whenever they want, because at the end of the day, it's Israel's interest for the Middle Eastern countries to burn, fight each other, for Muslims to kill other Muslims. Because if Saudi Arabia, UAE, and all these other countries start fighting against Iran, you're going to see United States and Israel pull back, and all they're going to do is start supplying weapons to Saudi Arabia. They're going to start supplying weapons to UAE, and they're going to be like, "Oh, you guys fight. We'll just watch from a distance." That's what they want, guys, and they want Muslims to kill other Muslims. That's what they did in the Iraq-Iran war, and that's what they want in this war. So I think they're doing it on purpose to get the Saudis and the UAE in. And it's working, because the Saudis have released a statement yesterday saying that if Iran attacks any more of their facilities, then Saudi Arabia will get involved in the war. That's what they said. So maybe Israel fires at Saudi Arabia as a false flag. Maybe they fire a drone in some Saudi Arabian oil field and blame Iran for it, and then Saudi Arabia joins the war. These Arabs are so low IQ, guys. Absolutely low IQ. They can't see that they are being completely used to fight each other, to fight Iran. The Americans and the Israelis do not care about the Arabs. They're just using them for their money, and they would love it for the Muslims to kill each other. And that gives, you know, Israel. If all the Muslims blow each other up, Israel has easy access to the Greater Israel project. They can start claiming land of Saudi Arabia, of all these other Arabian countries. Nobody will be there to stop them. So this is why these Muslim countries, all their leaders, are just so low IQ. They cannot see the big picture. Anyway, guys, I've been talking a lot. I'm going to end it here, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care for now. And also, don't forget to watch my other videos channels. I'll send you the link. Thank you. Bye.